Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Bit of balance testing action for you guys this afternoon. This was one of two replays put up on the replay forum by Pip, so thank you to him. And I did actually cast the other replay, not the one I'm going to bring to you in just a moment. I casted that yesterday, very out of sorts for me doing a Sunday one, as way of an apology for no cast on Friday. But I cast the whole thing, got to the end and thought that was really boring, and so I didn't bother uploading it. So I'm going to instead give a little apology for no cast on Friday by giving you two for the price of one today. But that's only going to happen if I can rifle through this one in good time. So I'm ready. You guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. Let's head on over to Certis Major and see how they're going to get on. So over here on the right-hand side, in his very uncustomary baby blue, it's Zock, and also very uncustomary, it's Aeon. This is, of course, balance testing action for 3626, and Aeon, one of the major changes or features of 3626, Aeon getting quite a heavy amount of tweaks. It's been generally considered that they've been falling behind for some time, so this has been a bit of an effort to rebalance that. It's an ongoing thing as well. 3626 balance patch has had quite a lot of tweaks, and as and when I'm not exactly sure this game was played, I can't be 100% sure of what changes are in it, but the general features are, of course, lots of AoE goodness and extra speed or tankiness, I forget which one, to the obsidian tanks. Sniper bots have had a rework for both Aeon and Fim to make them kind of a little bit more competitive against things like Bricks and Percival's. Not meant as a counter, but to give them other tools to fight with, being as that Bricks and Percival's seem to be so powerful with the introduction of Engimod. Anyway, that's Zock. He's over there. He's doing his stuff. He's on the move out to the middle section there, and he's opening first land, second air. And over on the left-hand side, over in the west, it's the one and only Luzon. And I've been told that this isn't teal, so I need to stop saying teal. People getting upset with that. Apparently, this is at the very least, turquoise, so it will be semi-precious turquoise from now on. And anyway, he's also sporting Aeon, wanting to test out these changes, and he's opening, I think that was first land, second air, but nice early bombers in the mix. Very much a feature of Luzon's play. And a spirit here from Zock coming up against superior forces, another spirit from Luzon, but also a flare trying to chase down that little scout and not having the best success. Zock running away very successfully there, making it back to friendly territory. But now we're going to see how well he does against some early bombers. He's already got an Inti in the air, so it's not going to have free reign, but it is going to pick up at least one engineer. Nice early grab that. Now he's got an accompanying engineer as well, but another grab there. Two more engineers bite the dust. So that's at least 3 NGs down for that bomber. Nice opening indeed. Such a feature of Luzon's play in most of the games. Seems to be very consistent in the air. Always fun to watch. Looks like Zock has a handle on the air game over his base for the moment. He needs to be concerned about the extremities though. But we've got another flare heading into Zock's territory from Luzon, and another bomber coming in over the top. Bombs away, going straight after the land factory. Interesting target selection there. He's probably not going to get another shot at anything, as two Intis coming in from Zock. Going to knock him out of the sky. There he goes. Free mass delivery incoming, albeit a very small amount. There's another flare down here on the bottom right by belonging to Luzon. Just looking out for any NGs that might be on a bit of a reclaim mission. I like that. There's no need to suicide your labs if you don't get the early action you want with them. Just hide them somewhere safe or somewhere on an expected route where you want to run into an engineer and pick up a kill. Just like his buddy up here. He's going to have some stories to bring back to the mess hall. That's where he's going now. Wants to fill up on this pasta tonight, you see. They love pasta, the flares. Very important. Get back in time for that. I don't know where it comes from. Back to the game. Luzon making his way to the center. Of course, Certis Major has quite a decent amount of reclaimable mass in the form of neutral buildings in the middle there. Just got to be careful, of course. A couple of eruptors either side. And also T2 Flak, a Mar there, can mess up your planes. And just as I say it, Interceptor strolls a little bit too close to the middle there and is in danger getting his wings fried. and less success than we thought he'd had. That little flare getting popped down there by a couple of Auroras. Taking a look at Eco though, Luzon streaks ahead. Is that due to reclaim? He's just on the breadline on power though. Wow. It's always hard to tell what's reclaim and what isn't. Seems to be Luzon, looking at the counter on the left, seems to be around 28 to 29, so it's pretty close. But of course, power fluctuations affecting the result there. Luzon now making his way into the middle. He's going to blow up all these structures and get his grubby Aeon fingers on all that reclaim. That's going to put him in a nice position early on in this. And looks like a change of direction. No engineers on board there. Looks like 4 Auroras in that chariot being airlifted. Where's he taking him? Right the way around this side, dropping off in here. Wants to probably snag an engineer or two and grab a mechs and another flare. It's got a very roundabout route in here, right to the edge of this little nook. Looking for more NGs to pick off, but Luzon looking a little bit more dangerous. He's already bagged the 3 mexes up here on the top plateau. Zock still working on the 3 down here. Question is that accurate? 49 mass for Zock, but still can't tell. Luzon having power problems. Needs to sort those out ASAP. A little bit of an interceptor battle over the middle there. It's now free to play in the middle with your aircraft now that that Mar has been taken care of, but take a look at the difference that central point has made. Luzon 4,100 mass reclaim, just 2,500 for Zock, but that drop has landed over here and he's working on some T1 P-gens. He's not going to finish off the hydrocarbon, but well, some moderate success there, and it all goes to distract Zock, of course. The more things you have to concentrate on in this game, more stuff is going to get in the way, slow you up your progress on your eco. But it definitely looks like the economic ball is in Luzon's court, even with bottlenecking power as he still is. I can't believe he hasn't been able to rectify this. You see the lines of T1 P-gen going down there, but even with that, he seems to be streaks ahead of Zock at the moment. I'm sure this is not where Zock would want to be at minute 8 in this game. Eruptor under threat from a further over here on the eastern part of the map. Some more direct fire units coming in to assist though from Zock. A few Auroras alleviating the pressure, but yet more reinforcements streaming in from Luzon, and another fairly sizable conflict brewing in the middle. Zock has come in to the engagement with his ACU and a few extra troops, but you're a little late to the party, my friend. The tea and cakes have all gone. That reclaim is firmly in Luzon's pockets. Coupled with the extra mass, he's getting almost full bar Luzon, so a ton of mass to spend when he needs to. Zock also unable to spend the resources, so both of these guys lacking the build capacity, the build space to effectively spend their mass at the moment. T2 P-gens going down at the back, so we've got the transition to T2 land tech there for Zock. And I would imagine Luzon's already in place. Yes, he is. Both of these guys now producing obsidians. Such an awesome unit, not least now with the new changes in this balance testing patch. I know a lot of you guys aren't huge fans of the mirror matchups, but I hope you can appreciate why these guys want to test out Aeon. Seen so much less Aeon play recently due to feelings of imbalances in the game. Quite a large exchange there happening at the aperture just south of this southern plateau. Zock turning up at just the right time with an obsidian, but not microed at all really, just went in a straight line. Attention was clearly elsewhere. And a little bit of a drop up top. Is it going to stop by these mexes? No, it's not. It wants to carry on and drop in here, and there's very little on the ground in the locale. I think Zock is going to lose at least a couple of mexes, or a mex and a hydro. So nice grab there from Luzon, who's always so timely with his drops. We've got an upgrade to T2 Air going on there for Luzon. How's that going to shape up against Zock? Zock's actually already on T2, so Zock a little bit ahead on the tech game. And already starting to upgrade some of those redundant T1 factories to T2. Wonderful feature of NG mod. And I'm assuming, of course, I mean, it's part of the balance patch, but I'm assuming that Edgymod will be released with FAF in the coming patch. Not sure exactly when that's going to be. Answers in the comment section below if you have any ideas on that. But now these two guys, these two armies starting to swell with troops a little bit. And there's a lot of build capacity in this group to the north there for Luzon. He wants to be careful not to get that swatted if an engagement does kick off. And now a push down here for Zock, and a lot of obsidians in the mix for him. No asylums though on Zock's, just one in the mix there for Luzon. Affords him a little bit of protection, but chance for a run by here for Zock, and another engagement up top as well. And some build capacity trying to spam up some eruptors ASAP. Zock not pushing quickly enough to take advantage of that build time and knock out those engineers. Benefit of being able to see everything on the map, of course, these guys aren't privy to all the information. But I think that is a nice clean-up job there from Luxy. And he's got a few eruptors down here anyway, so run-by is looking pretty difficult down here through this plateau. Drops, of course, in this area still available. Luzon not looking like he, Zock not looking like he wants to go that way at the moment, but he is starting to produce some Spectres. Throwing down TMDs everywhere as well. It's around that time of the game you really want to start protecting your mexes. You can see all the volcanoes dotted along here to protect those mass points from potential TML strikes. And another large pause in gameplay. Little attempt by Zock to secure these two mass points right at the bottom of the map here, but that's currently unsuccessful. Of course, this is a massive departure for both these guys. Luxy, I would say, probably varies his races quite a bit more in games. He seems to be a little bit more versatile. Zock, of course, is a huge proponent of Cybrin. Dirty little symbionts. But Luxy, generally, if he was going to be playing one race more than the others, I think he generally favours Seraphim, and I think it's not too outrageous to suggest that Seraphim is probably closer in playstyle to Aeon than Cybrin is. But some swift wins in the field now for Luxy. Heading on over the top of this southern plateau. Has he got any air-to-ground power? He's got a couple of bombers in the mix there, Luzon. But mostly air-to-ground on the map seems to be in Zock's corner. These Spectres that are slowly increasing in number. He seems to be alternating between swift winds and Spectres, so T2 fighters and T2 gunships. And a little feint here by Luzon, potentially coming in. Zock spots it, thinks this might be an ideal opportunity to bring in those gunships. Just be careful, there are a lot of swift winds on the field, and they've spotted the gunships. They're going straight in after them. Not too worried about their own casualties, it would seem. They just want to take out those gunships. And those Spectres managing to grab 2 mexes. But of course, a couple of Mars there, a couple of flak batteries. Not doing any favours for their paint jobs at all. It's another very static game, this, and I'm not sure if it's just down to the fact that this is probably not these guys' natural races. This is, of course, not necessarily how they would play in, say, a ladder match. Balance testing, just a little bit of fun. So we've got T3 Tech there, operational for Zock, already producing harbs. They're headed out to the front line, and that's mirrored very much by Luzon, producing T3 engineers for the moment, actually alternating between shield disruptors. Shield disruptors now quite a useful unit, and they didn't used to be so throughout all of the GPG days. It wasn't really until FAF came along they got a little bit of a buff, and now they're worth building. Really notice the difference when someone's filling up their troops with mobile shield gens and you have a couple of disruptors in the mix. The range, not least for anything, because you can pluck away at those shields and then take them down in preparation for your main attack. But Luxy just overextending a little bit here with some of his obsidians and harbs. He's not going to be able to break through that, but he has managed to knock out 2 eruptors. He has managed to take out all 3 of those mexes. And currently the Eco King, Luxy, in the lead. 120 mass, plays 105 as we passed minute 20 in this one. It's Zock's turn for a little bit of a counter push. And a nice drop up here from Luzon, picking off some of these mexes. Zock's ACU is in the area though. Could do with an overcharge. Surely he has access. He doesn't have access to overcharge. That is very surprising. I mean, I suppose his ACU hasn't seen a great deal of action. Thank goodness there were these other harbs in the area to help assist that ACU with those kills. And Zock pushing a little bit harder down here in the south. Wants to be a little bit careful. He had some Ferbers in the mix, just kind of firing over the ridge there down onto some of these mexes. But doesn't want to throw away these units. Certis, it's so important to hold the integrity of your 2 armies together, prevent your opponent from pouring through the gaps. But now another drop from Luxy, and this is quite a nice little combo. 1 harb, 2 obsidians, 3 auroras, and a spirit. Spirit bites the dust first. Zock seeming now to have access to overcharge. Yep, 9,000 power, so he's built his energy storage and deals with that without too much difficulty. But another drop coming in from Luzon, this time all obsidians. What's Zock's intel like? He can see everything that's going on up there, so he's not getting caught out through lack of intel. And now he seems to be looking to guard that northern passageway with some inties, or sorry, not inties, with some swift winds and some inties. Wise decision there. But now, once again, very, very even between these 2 guys on eco. And I think it's a reactionary thing, really. Zock has kind of sussed out that to play Luxy, you have to eco, you have to reclaim, and you don't necessarily go all-out attack because his attention is so good, it's everywhere. I've seen him do it in more and more games. He likes to hunker down a little bit and try to turtle up, potentially out-eco Luzon, but quite a large engagement kicking off now between these 2 groups over in the southern plateau region. Harbs leading the charge out front for Zock. It's a lot less of a cohesive formation down here for Luxy. He has some Serenities in the mix. Of course, they're on the move now, and they can fire on the move. You see the difference that makes. Acting very much like T1 artillery there. And this is looking reasonable for Zock at the moment, but as those asylums blink back on, Zock starts to run out of units. The harbs he had leading the charge went down first, gave him the advantage, but Luzon's harbs survived under shield cover, and now that's going to be the end of those units. And Zock needs to be careful here, doesn't want to risk a counter push, needs to get more units to that front line. Had a bunch of build capacity, looking like it's about to get caught out up here at the top by Zock, moving in a bunch of Auroras. At least 5 units down there, and those 3 mexes under threat as well. 2 Eruptors need to be dealt with. Has he got fervors in the mix? Yes, he has. If he can deal with that, he can threaten the back mexes up here. But still, this engagement runs down here at the bottom. Lots of swift wins there for Luzon. Locks, though, back here for Zock. You get the impression if an air fight was to kick off right now, Zock would probably emerge victorious from him. That would stand him in really good stead for the rest of this one. But nice use of asylums here from Luzon. It's giving him the edge in these battles, despite looking like on the face of it he has slightly fewer troops. But look at the difference it makes, because the large composition of Harbingers, Obsidians, their personal shields, the asylums in the back, the amount of shield disruptors that Luzon's been using, it's really helping him this. But Zock deciding to turtle up. He wants to seal this off now. He's going to throw down a shield and start putting up some Oblivion turrets in front of it. Wants to make sure that this is no longer a threat, but just as we thought he would, he has broken through up at the top. He's taken care of those 2 mexes. Those 2 Eruptors are down. Luzon is coming up to try and dish out some damage. He's got a couple of harbs. One's down, though. And I don't think he's going to win that one, although, well, it's an odd one coming through. Another potential airdrop. Is that a harb on the bottom of that chariot? I think it is. And still this fight rages down here, but Zock has bought himself enough time to get that PD operational. That's going to really hurt Luzon, and now Luzon has to back up even further. You can see the sniper bots in play there at the back, looking like something out of Lost in Space, picking off stragglers as they flee. Boom! And Luzon counter-pushing up top. He's going to ignore those 3 mass points for the moment. But still, it's virtually even on mass. Dead even game. Territory, not really much in it. We have got a strap bomber on the field there, a shocker. What's his target? Coming straight over here, and Luzon's decided enough is enough. He's going after mass. We've got a GC that's been thrown down there, although temporary interruption on the building there. SAM launcher is going to be switched up to try and deal with that strap bomber. Swift winds come in, though. 1 pass is enough to effectively deal with that, and Zock definitely has the numbers here to win that air battle. Another shocker coming in for Luzon. Lands on top of that T3 mechs, kills all of the associated mass storage. Of course, going to need at least 3 of those strap bombs to take out a T3 mechs, and it doesn't get more than 1 pass, so not a great use of mass there from Luzon. We are seeing ASFs now on the field, though, for Luzon, as Zock breaks through down here. There are a few Oblivion turrets in place, though. It's going to be tough to break through. Luxy deciding he wants to finish this off slightly. Or finish this off, sorry, thin this out slightly. Lots of posturing backwards and forwards. You see how brutal these sniper bots are. If you're not going to commit, don't be in the area, because you're just eating fire at range. Nice serenity though there for Luzon, and we were wondering why we weren't seeing so many units emerging from Luzon's side of the maps, because he was also working on a GC and his has finished first, and surely that will crack this walnut down here at the bottom that Zock has been putting up. But over here on the left, we've got a breakthrough from Zock. We're going to keep an eye on these two battles at the same time, and that's a lot of harbs, and they're getting in amongst Luzon's power grid. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Wants to finish off those shield gens first. Needs to get rid of all of these T2P gens. 11k, you can see the power plummeting there for Luxy, dropping down to 8.9, and now he's in amongst the T3s. Doesn't want to be standing that close though, Zock. The explosion will take out all of his own units, and it does, but that really hurts Luzon. He's had his power cut in half. He's going to be bottlenecking hard, surely. And there's still more units pouring in from Zock. Look at that, minus 16,000 net power. And surely that's going to cool game on this one. I don't see how Luzon's going to come back from that with that amount of power deficit. GC has opened up things down here, though. How is that GC doing for Zock? Not too far off, 78,000 hit points and climbing. But that's a serious fault there from Luzon to leave that door open. Zock just came right down in here with a bunch of harbs and knocked out 4 T2P gens, and I think about 3 T3P gens, and now Luzon has a real mountain to climb to get back into this one. Minus 1,500 power net. No intel whatsoever. He's going to have no power for any shields. It's not bothering the GC for the moment, however. 55 kills and climbing. So much shielding around here. It's definitely slowing up his ability to chew through these units. Goodness for that magnetic suck-up mechanism that the GCs have. Makes such a difference. That has done a pretty damn good job of clearing out that southern section of the map there for Luzon. Very timely arrival, that GC. However, we have a GC online now for Zock, another one in production. What is Luxy up to down here? He's turned all of his shields off, rather unsurprisingly. Doesn't have the power to fuel those at the moment. A couple of quantum gateways queued up down there. The name of the game is build power in Luzon's camp at the moment, as he's still not managed to get a handle on it. Zock effectively took out all of Luzon's power. GC making his way back down here to friendlier territory, clearing out some stragglers there of Zock's units being cut off by the recent troop movements. Harbs on the move back up here at the top. Luzon has the better of this though. Many more harbs in the mix. More incoming though from Zock. Very back and forth on the ground game. But very surprised Luzon managed to get caught up here. Really out of character. Just must have lost too many units for him to be able to hold back the tide. He was very concerned with what was happening down here. This has been the major battlefield throughout the course of this game. As we pass into the 36th minute. You can see Luzon wanting to turtle up. He's very concerned about reprisals, throwing down Oblivion turrets right in the region where that last attack came from. Doesn't have the ability to hold back another attack out here, so he has to use PD. He's got build capacity in the base. It's the only thing he has at his disposal at the moment. Another GC flying up though, so Luzon not doing too bad with ecos. Rectified his power situation now, but the question is the amount of time that's elapsed. How much damage or how much further ahead has Zock got? But look at this, Mercy's incoming, going straight after the GC and knocking off a good third or so of the hit points. Has that given enough clearance for this GC to be able to take it? That one, of course, 103 kills, so it's got a bit of veterancy on there. 4 stars, in fact. So in a straight fight, Zock well aware that his GC with 6 kills would not be able to take that. Trouble is, this is now back here regenning. Opportunity could pass. Well, however, though, 2-on-1 will not be a problem as that second GC turns up on the front line there for Zock. There is another GC emerging over here, but it looks like Luzon sending it north. I don't blame him. He's still got all of these units posturing up here from Zock. That's got to be something that he's concerned about. But how on earth is he going to hold back the attack here? I'd be very surprised if he does. In come the Asylums from Luzon, trying to block off a portion of that damage. They don't last too long though. The shields collapse. We've got Harbingers coming in there from Luzon as well, but counter Asylums coming in from Zock, and that GC for Luzon falls, leaving both of the GCs there for Zock intact. The weaker one on just 40,000 hit points, but that's heading back to safer territory where it can regen. And Zock, not wanting to get embroiled in with attack that he's going to lose up here from this GC, is going to pull back all of these units and take it around the middle. So it's a little bit of a here we go round the Mallory bus game going on here. Luzon chasing them round through the middle. Now he's got real problems. I really don't see how he's going to be able to stem the tide here. We've got sniper bots coming in there from Zock. That GC will pop those Oblivion turrets without any issue whatsoever. All of this build capacity is trying to spam up as much PD as possible. Be a miracle if he survives this assault. He's not going directly after it. He's going to hoover up all of this stuff down here. Meanwhile, GC engaging up top from Luzon. But that's a hell of a lot of air power that Zock's got. Spectres being applied directly onto that GC, and that GC running away, trying to get under cover of this incoming flak. All of these Ascendants that are coming in. We've got a bunch of Mercies coming in to deal with it as well. Let's keep tabs on the 2 engagements that are happening here simultaneously. And the flak does deal with those Spectres, but that has provided enough time for Zock to get that other GC in place, along with a hell of a lot of Harbingers, so he would win that fight directly if that was to happen right this moment. So GC up here for Luzon, running away, tail between his legs, taking fire there from a shield disruptor. But Zock having great success down here, has cleared out this whole base and build capacity, going around reclaiming some of these Asylums and Ascendants. And Zock now trying to chase down this bunch of units at the top of the map. And apparently there's a nuke in place somewhere. There it is there for Zock. It's a long way from being ready though. Luzon has spotted it some time ago. Zock continuing to push. Up top, snagging all of the units on that plateau, and as long as he coordinates with his ground units, could potentially manage to defeat this GC. But there's another GC incoming from Luxy as well. However, there's another push happening at exactly the same time. on the bottom from Zock, and look at all that build capacity just getting thumped in the middle there, and Zock once again targeting the power grid. GC down up top there for Luzon and Zock. That second GC is returning to base, wants to try and keep this together. Luzon's comm is back here. Go back to single screen, but look at the territory that's been gleaned from these last few attacks. Zock now firmly in control. He's got a commanding lead on mass, well, massive lead really. 225 plays 31. It's not even a contest at this point. Luzon pursuing that slightly beat up GC of Zock's there with his own. 111 kills though on Zock's GC. Where are we at on veterancy? Just 2 stars. Luzon on just 8 kills. It's going to be close, but I think Luzon should probably win that. However, a lot of Harbingers coming in. Maybe not. They turn up at just the right time. And Zock now pouring into Luzon's base. Luzon throws out the well played. And that just goes to show you, Luzon doesn't always win. And in the balance testing game, which I casted yesterday, but I didn't upload because it was dull, Zock also won that one as well. Of course, this is not a ladder match. These guys not employing strategies necessarily that they would in a normal game. Having a bit of fun, they're testing bit of fun, testing out units and playstyles that they wouldn't always test out. But a nice snag there from Zock. Very competent play from him indeed. Anyway, guys, that's cast 1. I'm going to find another one for you for today. So I will see you very soon indeed. In the meantime, as always, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.